Hello, the internet, and welcome back to another episode of Dbacks Dispatch. We are your hosts, Gabriel and Brandon. And today we have some very exciting news that we can talk about, something to uplift us after the game from yesterday. And that was that the number 4 prospect in MLB and the number 1 prospect in the Diamondback system, Jordan Lawlar, was recalled today from AAA. So he begins his I guess his season debut this week, and it's probably coming tomorrow against Robbie Ray. But if this is your first time joining us, we want to say welcome. Um, if you're listening to Spotify, Apple, or whatever you listen to podcasts, make sure to rate and review. If this is your first time watching us on YouTube, like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. Check us out on Twitter, on Discord, TikTok, Instagram. We're all over the place at Dbacks Dispatch. Make sure to check out AZ Snake Pit. So, Brandon, I guess we should start it off just giving our initial thoughts. What were your thoughts last night when we got the news?
Um, Relieved, to be honest. Um, I was like, I I knew they would call him up this season eventually. I just didn't know when it was, and then um, saw thanks to actually AZ Snake Pit. They are the ones that initially posted Nick Picoral's article on AZ Central. So thanks, AZ Snake Pit, for posting that initially. And then Nick officially tweeted his article, and then it was literally like a snowball effect. Like everyone was posting it last night. So got really excited. Um, and like you could tell, like I felt it was coming based on what Jack Summers' article had posted. I think it was earlier on Sunday, where like it sounded like Tory had ideas of how to get him the because that was everyone's biggest critique. I'm like, they didn't want to call him up and he doesn't get to play. But it sounds like it's kind of what we said. Like play him at second base, shortstop, third base, DH. You can get him the 10 to 12 at bats a week. And then obviously, if he performs, you can do more. But I think that's going to really help him. And as Josh says, law has been restored in Arizona. So I'm very excited to watch him play.
Yeah, and it happened literally right as we were finishing up recording, so we probably would have gotten an extra 20 minutes if we both had seen it in time.
Yeah.
But by the time we were done, we just checked Twitter and we're like, oh damn it, like should we go live? And then we were like, it's 10:30. Let's just gather our
Right.
thoughts for tomorrow. So the main thing we just wanted to do is just make sure we knew who was going up and who was getting sent down, because it seemed like there were more moves to be done, especially with the bullpen the way it was. It seemed like there's going to be some more guys coming in and out. But so is the post, or I guess the list that the D-backs gave. So Lawlar gets called up or recalled from AAA. They reinstated Kendall Graveman off of the 15-day IL. They DFA'd Garrett Hampson. They DFA'd Jose Castillo. And there's a maybe in there that we have yet to see, only because Jack Summers mentioned it, and I think you said in the group chat as well. Dre Jameson, he's on his flight to Scottsdale. He's
Yeah.
not in Reno right now.
Why would he be going to Scottsdale?
So
He's
the
already there.
reason is they need it for a pitcher. They need 15 days. Uh, if they get sent down, they need 15 days in the minor leagues. Unless there's an injury, then that means that they can call him up whenever. So right now, there's no injuries to the either the bullpen or the starting staff, so they have to wait the extra day. So tomorrow is when Dre can officially be brought up again. I believe he has 2 options left. So if they bring him up, he's probably going to be here to stay for the rest of the season. So they got to be, we got to be careful to know when to bring him up and everything. So we don't know who's getting sent down. I mean, we all have a certain person that we probably would all prefer to be sent down, but as of yet, we haven't seen it. But well, what were your thoughts about seeing uh, Hampson be DFA'd. I don't want to say finally, but finally DFA'd.
I mean, we knew it was coming. Like he was getting like what, one, maybe two at bats a week. Like he wasn't getting any playing time. Tim Tawa kind of like took that away. I wouldn't say he took it away, but he earned it because of the power. Like his batting average isn't great, but he has that pop that maybe Torrey pinch hits him late in the game because he needs a double or a homer. And also Saturday, he got a start in left field. Now he didn't get any balls hit his way, but I think they just wanted to see how he would do in an actual game. It was very weird because Garrett Hampson came in defensively for him in the ninth inning of that. I thought that was like super weird. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. But like, I felt like this was coming based on what they said on the broadcast that Dave McKay, who's the first base coach, is also the outfield coach, basically said, yeah, he's good to go. Tim Tawa, like, he gave his stamp of approval saying, yes, I feel comfortable putting him in the outfield in a game. So when I heard that, I was like, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen is whenever they bring up Lawlar, I didn't know if it was coming or not. It would be they would get rid of Hampson and keep Tawa. Mainly like, yeah, Hampson can play shortstop, but now we have Lawlar. He can play center field, but I feel like they're more like they'd rather just have Tawa out there. So yeah, I knew it was. I just didn't know how soon. And I'm glad Mike Hazen finally realized that he needs to make this change.
Yeah, and I think I have the same sentiment about how I don't want to say soon because we are a month and a half into the season, but he's shown overall he honestly offered this team. I don't want to say nothing either because he was a decent defender, but overall, you just felt like his time was running out, and especially with Tawa, it's not like Tawa's been all that great either. He is batting like 195 or 197 in 70 something at bats. Again, it's not a super small sample size that Tawa has. Like we kind of know what he is at this point, and it's kind of an all or nothing guy, which off the bench I think could be incredibly valuable. But as an everyday guy, I don't think so. He's not a guy who should be getting 20 at bats a week, up at least not in the majors. There's a reason why he's 26 years old and this is his rookie year. He's just not
Yeah.
Jordan Lawlar. And that's some point I made earlier on, like a few weeks back, about Tall. It's like he's not Jordan Lawlar. Like at some point, he's going to cool off a little bit, and we've been seeing that from him. And I did think that they're going to send Tawa down just because Hampson has a major league contract. This team is paying him $1.5 million, and so I didn't think they would actually do this. I mean, maybe a team might get him off of players. Maybe they won't. By the way, as of right now, the D-backs are still on the hook for that $1 million. And honestly, I hate seeing guys lose their jobs like this, like
Yeah.
DFA. Like it doesn't matter how bad they are. I do. I honestly, I'll joke about it on Twitter, but for the most part, I hate seeing this. Like these are people's lives and careers, being thrown away, and sometimes it just feels like organizations can see them as disposable, and it's an unfortunate side to the sports industry where if you don't perform for a certain amount of time, you kind of get cast off to the side. Like there's that quote from Moneyball where they say, there's a point in time where everybody gets told they can no longer play the children's game, whether it comes at 18 or 40, it comes for all of them. And I think that's kind of the unfortunate thing with Hampson. I think he probably will bounce back. Probably somebody will take a flyer on him because he is valuable, at least in the infield and a little bit to the outfield. Like I do think he saved Gallen's start against I think the Mets when he did that cutoff move where he
Yep.
left the Vientos on first. I think that was an excellent play by him, and I do think he provides value that way. So that's why, again, I thought he was going to stay and Tawa can be sent down, but the fact that they did it, I think, shows the team was ready to go, full speed. Like we're in mid-May, they're still in fourth place, 2 games back from a wild card spot, and I think this team realizes now, like, it's go time. Like things aren't getting any better, and they need a spark, and Jordan Lawlar should be able to provide that spark.
Yeah. M brings up a really solid comment. I just hope that our fan base doesn't condemn him. Even big time prospects take time. Like Bobby Wood Jr. was not that great to start his career. So was Domo. Most are not Corbin. Corbin is the exception. He's not the rule. So that's my only thing is I don't want a majority of the fan base. Like if he struggles for his first 2 weeks, like I'm like Oscar. Uh, Oscar coming in here saying Lawlar is a bust. He ain't no Volpe. Yeah, he's better than Volpe. I hope this fan base can realize he's a prospect. Just don't jump on him if he, I don't know, his first 45 at bats, he's like 5 for 45. Like he's going to struggle. But the only way that he gets better is he has to see major league pitching.
Yeah,
Like that's truly the only way.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where everything that he's doing in the minor leagues, how much better can he get? And I think that's kind of the issue with keeping him down for so long. It's like, okay, well, what else does this team want to see? And I guess we can transition to the other topic we wanted to discuss is, was this team being genuine what they wanted to see out of him? Like they never mentioned anything specific they wanted to see out of him. But last week on May 5th was the cutoff for the service time. For the longest time, it used to be either April 14th or 15th. And then because of Chris Bryant, Vlad Jr., Ronald Acuna Jr., all these guys getting brought up the day after made it so the next CBA negotiation took off that rule about, if you're on the if you're in the opening day roster before that, you get, you as a player get your service time. But if you're up even the day after that cut off with April 14th or 15th, whatever it was, then the team gets control of you for a whole another year. And with Chris Bryant, I remember at the time he batted like 400, had a 1600 OPS in spring training, and
It was nasty.
9 home runs and like 40 at bats or something. Just absolutely destroyed the ball and just playing great defense. And he got sent down, and everyone was like, "What was that for? Like, why did you get sent him down?" And I believe it was Jed Hoyer at the time was like, "Oh, well, we just wanted to work on his defense." He played 7 games. How is 7 games going to improve his defense that much in that time when he got brought up again? And the same thing happened with Vlad Jr. The whole thing was like, "Oh yeah, we want to take some more walks." Played like 5 games, like him and like I said, Ronald Acuna Jr. A lot of these big name guys got their service time manipulated. So got to the point where Chris Bryant sued Major League Baseball basically for that service time. Unfortunately, he was denied, but it created an issue with the CBA. So now I believe if you're on the opening day roster, you get your spot. And I think it's like the Super 2, they would call it. So if you've been
Correct.
brought up before, so Lawlar was brought up in 2023 in September. So in his case, if he isn't brought up before May 5th,
Yeah.
he doesn't, if he's brought up before May 5th, he has a service time. If he's brought up after May 5th, the team has the extra year of control. So it's 7 years now that the Dbacks are going to have control of Jordan Lawlar instead of the 6. So, if you want to put your conspiracy hat on, this is the good time to do it. So, Brandon, do you think this was a service time manipulation, or do you think they truly wanted to see something out of him that they hadn't seen before?
I think it's absolutely a service time manipulation because we saw what he was doing in Reno before May 5th. He was making some just insane defensive plays. Literally, you couldn't get him out. And like this was like, I don't know, like around April 20th. What changed in the 20 or so days? Like when I heard what people were like theorizing with that, I'm like, that makes unfortunately that makes sense. Like I think he was only up here for Major League time like 20, 25 days. And so you do the math. Basically, if he got onto the Major League roster after May 5th, it didn't like the rest of the season. Like if he stays up here, he doesn't complete 1 year of a full service time. So again, I don't know if that's the case. It's just looks kind of fishy to me. because it was literally like a week. Like I feel like they waited the week because if they did it like 2 days later, it would have been blatantly obvious. So they're like, well, if we wait a week, it won't be as no, it's still pretty obvious. But to be honest, at this point, I don't really care. He's on the major league roster. Um, and I'm not going to say I took credit for it, but I did wear Jordan Lawlar, his gray Arizona Dbacks jersey twice this past week at the games. Just want to give myself a little bit of a ego boost, but I'm just excited that he's here. Just can't wait to watch him play, and just because for me, like he had reached his cap as to what he could learn in the minor leagues because we saw it. Like he was just tearing the cover off the ball. Like he just didn't even have to try. So for me, I'm like the only way that he can really develop is he needs to see actual major league pitching. If that means that he struggles for a bit, that's the only way you get better.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, normally I guess I wouldn't be inclined to believe in the conspiracies, but I think this is one where I am more willing to believe it because, like you said, it's so literally just 1 week after it, so it's not like it's June when they bring him up. It's literally 1 week, and he is a Scott Boras client. Scott Boras doesn't sign extensions. He's not going to be Corbin Carroll. Corbin Carroll signed an extension with the team in the offseason before 2024, right? Or 23.
23.
2023, yeah, the 23 season. He signed the extension before the season started. And I can guarantee you they probably had discussions with Jordan Lawler and Scott Boras, like, hey, what do you guys think about an extension before he's brought up? Probably said no. So I think at that point, the team made a decision of we're going to have to manipulate his time because he is only 22 years old and he would be entering free agency at 28, which great for him. Obviously bad for the team. And now he's going to be entering free agency at 29. Not too bad, but at least it keeps him from getting a little bit of extra cash that he normally would get, which is kind of like I said, it's kind of the unfortunate side to this. But I think that's why I'm inclined to believe that it was kind of a service time issue. But I will say that one of the things that a lot of people have brought up is that he struggles with off speed, especially like curveballs and sliders. Mostly the slider. In this last week or so, he did have a bad week. He batted like 150 or 170 in this last week. But I wouldn't be surprised if Monday the team called up Lawler and told him, hey, we're thinking of calling you up. Focus solely on breaking pitches. Don't worry about the results. Just focus on them. See if you can see them. And then, we'll call you up next week. And that's something that we've seen before. Like a lot of the young guys, they say the same thing, or even when the veterans get sent down to the minors to work on stuff or even spring training, a lot of them talk about, yeah, this team asked me specifically, they wanted to see this. And then if I checked off these boxes, they're going to call me up. And I think maybe that's what happened with Lawler. So that could explain the lull in his production for the last week. They probably wanted him to work on one very specific thing. And it's something that we've talked about, like, in the minor leagues, guys coming back from making some rehab starts. Don't look at the box score. The box score isn't what's important. What's important is what the team sees. It's the velocity, the arm angle, the tunneling, the spin rates, and all that stuff.
Yep.
So with Lawler, it could have been the same thing. They probably could have been focusing on those type of metrics rather than the results. But I want to get to some comments before we go on to the last topic. And M says, does this mean Corbin might play a little center now? I would hope so. I am always surprised to not see Corbin out there. I know they don't want to play him there just because it is a little bit harder.
I'm very iffy on that because they tried it last year and he struggled at the plate when they did play him in center. They moved him back into right field only, and that's when it could just be a coincidence.
Yeah, because he struggled last year no matter what. He was in the seventh spot, he struggled. First spot, he struggled. So, last year, I feel like in a lot of ways can be a bit of a wash for Corbin. So maybe, they could try him out there just on the days that Alec isn't playing. But I do think at this point they probably need Alec to play
which
every
is
day,
probably
even if it's
tomorrow, by
against.
the way.
I mean, I think they need to have him out there with how big that stadium is. They need to have Alec out there. Cam Force says I need Lawlar to pinch run tonight at least. That's going to be the subject in our next topic about him getting a day off today. Um, let's see. Scott Max says I've been extorting for his call up for a month. Guess it worked. I think all of us have. I've been
We
tweeting at the
have.
team that I will pay for his Spirit Airlines flight or something to send him over to Phoenix. All right. So the last topic we want to get to is the fact that, as excited as we are, Jordan Lawlar isn't playing today. Of course, the fan base is freaking out, and
It's so
I
funny.
I,
I'm
I
like,
think
this is
I,
gonna
I think
happen.
deservedly so. But this is one time I think I'm okay with him resting. But first, I want to give you the floor, Brandon. What do you think about him getting a day off today?
It's okay. It's not a day off. He's not a starter. So it's not. It's just Tori chose to not play him. It's again. It's just me probably just splitting hairs, but it's not a day off. It's just he, he is not going to be starting over Perdomo or Gino or Marte or even Paven. Even though how much I would love that for it to be the case, he is not. He is not a starter. He is like he's gonna be the guy to allow Gino to have a day off, to give Perdomo a day. I think Perdomo's had one day off all year,
Yeah,
like one actual, and it wasn't even a full day off because he came in to pinch hit in like the eighth
the
inning.
eighth inning. Yeah,
So yeah, like and this is kind of what I thought was going to be how he was going to get the 12 at bats a week. There'd be one game where he sit short spelling Perdomo. Next day he could be at third spelling Gino. Next day he could be playing second to allow Marte to DH. I truly feel that's what it is for now. Now, if he starts to play really well, Torrey's going to have a hard decision to make, which it's a good problem to have. You have too many good players. Um, so we'll have to see. And I'm kind of with Jeff on this one. This is why I thought like when I saw he was called up, I'm like, he's probably not playing tomorrow. Like he's just not gonna play on Monday. Jeff says tomorrow is the lefty Robbie Ray, former D-back. He has better splits versus lefties, so it should be a softer landing. And I think that's what we need to make sure is that he's set up for success. We want him to do well early, so that he has the confidence. Because if he struggles early, it's going to affect his confidence, and this may just make us all look like just saying, "Oh, it's too early. They brought him up too early, or he's a bust." That's why I know you disagreed with it because you think Verlander is washed, but Verlander is literally, outside of Kershaw, the best pitcher of this era. And I think Lawler might have been a little bit intimidated by seeing just the name Justin Verlander. Like his stuff's not as good as it used to be, but it's still Justin Verlander. So I definitely think that he starts tomorrow. Gambo even tweeted it that he thinks that Lawler starts at short tomorrow.
yeah. So I mean, I do disagree with you, but I'll get to at least the Verlander point. But um, yeah, when I saw his name and he was going to be called up, I did think that the team wasn't going to play him tomorrow, solely because he just played 6 games straight. And when you're talking about the PCL and the minors, the amount of at bats you get per week is insane. Like you're talking about 7 or 8 at bats per
Also,
game,
Monday
and
is their off day, so he's just
and
used to it.
Mondays, and specifically Mondays, are usually for the most part always off days in the minor leagues. So he's used to not playing 7 days a week, and a place like San Francisco, the air is a little bit denser compared to Reno and a lot of other parts of the PCL. So I can see why they decided to sit him down. Um, so I'm not going to complain about it, but I will say would have been cool. The one thing about Lawler is if you've ever met him, you've ever seen him talk, this man does not lack confidence, and this is where I'm saying I think I disagree with you, and even with Jeff a little bit talking about the softer landing. I don't think Lawler fears anyone. I don't think he's a guy who's lacking in any sort of confidence. He's a very confident, outspoken guy. I like his personality a lot, and that's why I've called him a superstar before. It's not just what he does on the field, but off the field. He has that personality that you want out of a guy. Like Corbin is so reserved and shy. It's like he's another Perdomo. These guys are cut from the same cloth in terms of personalities. And like I said, the one thing he doesn't lack is confidence. So I don't think he would have seen, the back of the jersey. It says Verlander. I think he probably sees it as a challenge. Like we've seen, you know, we were mentioning Clayton Kershaw. Look what the D-backs did to Clayton Kershaw, specifically Corbin. Corbin ended his career. Kershaw still hasn't been back to the major
No,
leagues
no. It's because
since that
he's
time
been
that
hurt.
toe, yeah, sure, the toe. Um, like I said, I don't think any of these guys have any sort of real lack of confidence, and I do think he could have performed against Verlander. Like Verlander's not what he once was. His fastball's around 95 now. He's breaking pitches that he has a value of 0 over this year, so it's not like he's had an elite breaking pitch. He is whatever that 100 percentage or whatever is. His slider is, it's a little bit above average, but it's not elite this season. So I don't think he would have struggled as much. But again, I'm okay with him, getting a chance tomorrow against the left-hander. Although Robbie Ray has been very, very good this year. He has good velocity, good spin rate, especially
Yeah.
on that slider that he has. I mean, he can throw a frisbee slider as well. So I don't see, in my opinion, how that's a softer landing, especially with a guy like Robbie Ray playing in San Francisco. But all in all, I think this team should be able to, have batting practice against Justin Verlander, especially this version of Justin Verlander and Pavin. Same prime time, but I said it yesterday. This is prime time Pavin time right now. Like hit it into the pool into the bay, because we
Yeah.
haven't seen that from him at least. All the damage he did was in Houston last year. So Pavin, I'm not calling you out. I'm calling you up. Like take care of this game for us. We can get back to our winning ways. So, um,
It is
now
on Fox Sports 1. It
oh,
will be on Fox Sports
national game.
1
So
if you do
primetime
it.
Pavin saw him. Um,
So,
I will say, like, I
it's
guess,
if he freaking rakes today, he's never gonna let Steve Berthium hear the end of it.
oh yeah,
Now, Steve is still doing the game for D-backs TV, but if you don't have D-backs TV, it will be on Fox Sports 1. So he could say, well, yeah,
yeah. I guess
could do that.
the final question would be: do you think he's going to make an appearance at all today?
Yes. I think he has a chance to pinch run. Um, Jeff also brings a solid point. I bet he gets a pinch hit opportunity today. Toy likes to get guys up and put them in immediately. It's not because he lacks confidence. It's that they just like for him to get off to a good start. So I think a pinch hit opportunity is definitely possible. Who I don't know. Like that's the thing. Like who do you pinch hit him for? Like
I guess
um
I guess for me
maybe
it
a
would be
lefty.
Pavin, just
Yeah,
because
that's what I was
because they're going
thinking.
to bring in a lefty at some point to face Corbin, who's leading off, and they'll probably get a chance against him. So and Naylor, I believe, is still hitting behind Pavin. So if you have the two lefties coming up, he's probably going to get the opportunity against either Naylor or uh, against Naylor, the opportunity over Naylor or Pavin, I believe. So I do think he's going to make an appearance. I mean, I can see him pinch running as well if it's a close game and Pavin or Naylor get on base and they're at third and there's one out. I can see him definitely pinch running for either one of them.
It would be such a Tory thing to have him come pinch hit, bunt. It would be such a Tory thing to do. So he can drag bunt really well though. So like it may not be like a sacrifice bunt because if that's the case, that literally is a waste. So,
Yeah. So quickly, I just want to
I,
say Scott is asking if he's a 5 tool player. He is. That's why
yes,
I think we've been wanting him up for so long. It's just he's a 5 tool guy. He has a higher ceiling than even Corbin does, just because the velocity or the exit velo, everything that he has, I think, is better than Corbin overall. But obviously, Corbin is just a freak of nature. But so is Jordan, and I think a 1-2 punch of them is going to be extremely valuable coming down the stretch. And hopefully, he gets off to a good start, and we don't have to hear about, oh, where's he going to play? Where's he going to play? He's going to be playing, as people put it, musical chairs, because he was already doing
yeah,
it at the minors. Why not doing it in the majors?
yeah, like a lot of people's like, oh, that's not good, and like I've seen a lot of comments on like all of the posts on Twitter, not just ours, not just on the team, but like stuff from like Underdog, MLB, like everyone was tweeting that he's coming up, and they're all like, where's he gonna play? And you would see comments, well, second, short, and third, and like that doesn't set up a player for success, but it could though. Like the fact that you're kind of saying that, oh, that's why he's not going to be successful is because he's not playing one position. Well, it's a nice thing when you have a 5 tool player. There's a reason shortstops typically are the ones they will move off of. So many of them, they'll move them to another position. Well, that's third, second, outfield, because they are the most athletic players on the field and they know they can make that change. So I think he's good to go.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
like from all reports, like he was playing pretty good defensively at all three: third base, shortstop, and second base. So,
Yeah.
um,
So
yeah,
quickly, Scott is asking about Erod. Um, we might have to wait tomorrow if Drake gets brought up, if they're bringing anybody up. I made a comment yesterday about Erod. Either this is his last starting rotation on Wednesday, or don't be surprised if Ryan Nelson or someone else gets that spot. But quickly, any final thoughts, Brandon?
Torrey did say that Erod was tipping his pitches on, I think, what was that, Saturday? No, Friday. I'm like, so what's the excuse for his other bad starts? So, um, Scott brings up, I want to see Graveman have an appearance. I think Torrey wants to get him in as soon as he can. If that means, like, say, for example, who's starting tonight? Kelly. So, say Kelly goes like 6 or 7. I think Graveman is the first guy out of the pen. I think that would
Yeah,
be a great landing spot for Graveman. So yeah, and I think I think a lot of people are like hesitant on Graveman because like they didn't really sign him for that much and like no one was interested. Graveman has been a solid high leverage bullpen arm for a very long time. So once I saw that he was getting pretty close to coming back, I know for me, I was very excited. There's also like rumor is J Mart might be coming back by when they're back in town this weekend. So like that's gonna take players like Ginkle and Shelby and probably put them in the seventh and eighth. Like it's gonna have that ripple down effect for these guys in the bullpen. And Tori, just learn from your mistakes. Give these guys roles. Do not do this. Oh, it's gonna be based on matchups. Like Tori, you've seen it has not worked this year. Just get your pride out of the way because it worked in 23. Do it again, and you'll see just how good this bullpen can be.
yeah. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. I know this was slightly earlier than usual. I'm sure people are barely coming home from work instead of, being in bed like they probably usually are. But I want to thank everybody for joining us in the comments. I guess Disruptive, Scott, Jeff, Cam, for John,
Tanner,
Tanner, Oscar is in there
John Kennedy
trolling,
was in here
Josh.
too.
Yeah. All right. So thank you everybody for joining us. We will be back, I believe, Wednesday for a full episode where we will be breaking down this giant series, and hopefully we have a lot of to talk about, especially concerning Jordan Lawlar. And we'll see you guys then. Bye.
Under the lights, the game goes down. Tears a heap, but we own this town. Brett and Gabe on the call, with Josh in the back, bringing it